Hello, and welcome to the Borealis Experience. I'm your host, Aurora, and I'm very happy to be spending some time with you today. Today, I want to talk about discrimination. Discrimination is a huge thing right now in our society. And as you know all too well, I'm all about creating a space where you feel safe, where you feel understood, where you feel you can recharge your batteries, where we learn from each other, where we support each other. And here, we do not care where you are coming from. I have a project going on here in the future where I will be interviewing ex-convicts. And this work is very important to me because I want to cut through prejudice. I want to help people understand that we all deserve second chances. We need to trust our government, that when people are being released back into society, that they are deserving of a second chance. And all this shaming and guilt tripping is not going to get us anywhere. That person that gets out of jail and is trying to make a life for himself or herself again after traumatizing experiences that they might have induced, but also that they have suffered from, deserves respect and deserves an honest second chance. And what do I mean by that is that we encounter people with an open heart, with an open mind, and that we can see the true potential that we all carry inside of ourselves. And trust me, the people that went through hell, that had to rebuild themselves, they most of the time are the biggest servants, the biggest and most impactful people in our society for the better. And nowadays, everybody has an opinion. It is so easy on Facebook to, start discussions, end discussions, jump in on discussions and have a strong opinion. And some conversations slide into very radical speech, if not to say hate speech. And it is very sad for me to observe because I know these people, if standing in front of each other, would never talk the same to each other than how they do when they are on Facebook. It is really important that we start asking more questions. When there's something that we don't understand, people, there's less and less space, there's more and more people, and people are crammed into spaces with very different beliefs, with very different views on life. And it's not going to change in the near future. It's going to get more and more. And how can we manage to not get lost? How can we manage to not destroy each other? How can we manage to approach each other with more understanding? I think the only way is to ask questions. If there's somebody with a complete different view than me, I ask questions. I want to understand. Where are you coming from? What happened to you that you think that way and that you behave that way nowadays? I want to understand. I want to have compassion with you. I want to being able to relate with you and maybe even learn from you. And then go from there. And if you don't understand, if that person doesn't want to open up to you, if they are becoming offensive or defensive or whatever it is, then move on, but don't make it about yourself. I feel this is what we need more of. We need more understanding because we all have our stories, we all have our backgrounds, we all have our grounds. But we are being forced to live together. And it's a beautiful thing because we need each other. And I think that's what people keep forgetting when they engage in these hateful speeches on Facebook, is that they forget that we need each other. Every person, if you want it or not, is a resource, can be a resource for love, a resource for friendship, a resource to learn something about life. Think about the food you eat on a daily basis. Think about the water you drink. If it wasn't for other people working so hard, you wouldn't have all these things on your table. And we can go further and talk about your telephone and talk about everything that we consume on a daily basis. It is because of a common effort. And do you really care that much of what the reasons are why certain people behave one way and others in a different way? I think we don't care enough. We just see that a person is not thinking the same way, not acting the same way, and this is why that is an offense, and that person has to be removed from society. I don't think that's okay. I think that will create lots of unhappiness and hatred and disasters in families. It is incredible what's going on right now. It's hard to put into words. But the only thing I want to say today is that we need each other. We need to come together with better understanding of each other. And then we can move from there. Hate speech is for people that have nothing better to do, that want friction because otherwise they feel useless and lonely. It is not getting us anywhere. And I'm so grateful to know that the people in my life, closest in my life, and my listeners are very open-minded and are very curious. And if they are not, they are sticking to this show and wanting to become more curious and open-minded and open-hearted. Because in the past they've learned that a shut down heart, a shut down mind brought them nowhere. It made them lonely, it made them miserable, it made them create fights and separation with people that they actually miss now and need in their life. And it is just very unnecessary friction that is out there right now. And I'm trying to make sense of it. I'm trying to understand what this is all about. I have no idea, but all I know is that we have to focus on keeping an open heart. We have to focus on being love-driven and not fear-driven. And that means in turn that we need to ask more questions. Maybe some of you remember my interview where we talk about racism, and that the person said he encounters racism with curiosity. He starts a conversation when he feels that there is a racist vibe in someone and he wants to make sense of it, and then love the shit out of that person and make them understand that we're all made of the same wood. We have to learn to trust each other again. We have to learn that there is more ways than just one to skin the cat. I really don't like that expression, but I think that's how you say it. We have to invite different views to the table, and this is going to make a very complex and very rich life and planet. If we start to discriminate, if we start to cancel people out, it is not going to get us anywhere, because we are hurting ourselves deep inside when we're trying to eliminate a person that we think is living outside of us. But we are really all connected, and we can't keep treating each other that way. Thank you so much for listening to the Borealis Experience. If you appreciate my work here, if you want to give me a little tap on the shoulder, please subscribe. Please leave me a comment on Apple Podcast. On dark days, it's very motivating to read them. And on good days, I just want to go for coffee with you and have a real conversation with you. But maybe it's possible one day soon when all this crazy mess is over. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you so much. I have such deep respect for you because I know my content here can be very triggering and challenging at times. But if you stick to my content, I know that you have a growth-minded heart and a big heart. And yeah, I just wanted to express that. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will be out there very soon again. Bye-bye.